Hi, my name is Veronica, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. How did that one do?
That was very good. Let's do it, just maybe one or two more, okay?
But they can't get at me. Why I gotta listen? They ain't special. Why can't they sit down and they can't special? Why kiss? Why? What they scared of? Losing to a Latino? They scared of? Come in. What happened?
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So that was Teofimo Lopez claiming that the black fighters are afraid to fight him because he is a Latino, despite the fact that he is #1 on damn near every black fighter's hit list right now. From Haney to Keyshawn Davis to Richardson Hitchens, Alberto Puello, Gary Antoine Russell, they all want to fight Teo. Let's also not forget, right after Teo beat Lomachenko, him and his father said it don't make no sense to fight a Devin Haney, a Gervonta Tank Davis, or even a Shakur for at least the next 3 to 5 years. You know how long ago he said that? 5 years ago. All right, guys, so more recently, we all just heard the news that Teofimo Lopez, he made it very clear he was not interested in taking the Devin Haney fight. According to reports, he was offered $11 million to fight Devin Haney. $11 million. Keep in mind, by Teofimo's own admission, he's never made over $1 million. And he turned down $11 million. So now that Teo has completely walked away from the Devin Haney fight, he's not going to get the Jaron Ennis fight. There is no other fight where he's going to make even close to $11 million. So what is he going to do? Who is he going to fight? Well, Tim Bradley, he gave his take on this situation, and he is completely defending Teofimo Lopez in every regard.
Hey, let me just say this real quick. Who in the hell is scared of Devin Haney after that last performance? Shit, I come back at 147 or come back at 145. Shit. Scared of Devin Haney after that last performance? A man scared to get hit. That man don't want to be touched. That's easy work. Easy work. So with that being said, Teofimo Lopez, is it a duck? Oh, y'all can call it a duck. Y'all can call it a duck, but y'all come in here because y'all want original takes. Not takes that you hear from other people. No, original takes that's been in the game. And I see things a little differently than most people. That's why a lot of people don't understand what I be saying. They don't get me. It is what it is.
You know, it's so ironic that Tim Bradley, he would say, you know, my take is different because I've been in the game, meaning he's been in the ring. Tim Bradley is a 2-division world champion, right? So you would think that with the example that he used when he said, Teo ain't ducking no Devin Haney after Devin Haney's last performance, what is he to be afraid of? Now, the reason I say it's so ironic that Tim would say this is because, like Tim said, he's been in the game so long. Tim was in a very similar situation that Devin Haney was in. When Tim Bradley had that fight against Ruslan Provodnikov, after that fight, everybody thought that Tim Bradley was completely done, including Juan Manuel Marquez, a fighter that Tim Bradley had been chasing for like 2 years, and Juan Manuel Marquez was avoiding him until Marquez seen his poor performance against Ruslan Provodnikov. And Marquez, he finally took the bait. He took the Tim Bradley fight right after the Ruslan Provodnikov fight. Even after the Bradley-Ruslan Provodnikov fight, Bradley was still looking bad, even when he was training. I remember his old trainer, Joel Diaz. He said, man, it was bad. He said when Tim Bradley first came back to the gym, he would get in there and spar with 13-year-old kids. And these 13-year-old kids was beating up Tim Bradley. That's how bad Tim Bradley was looking. And this was when he was training for the Marquez fight, right? So what happens when he fights Marquez? He gets in there and he looks his best. He surprises Marquez. Marquez was expecting to see the weak, the vulnerable Tim Bradley. Instead, he got the best version of Tim Bradley. And Tim Bradley put on one of the best performances of his career, even knocking down Marquez. So my point is, Tim Bradley, he should know better than anybody that somebody can have a bad performance and then come back in the very next fight, especially if it's against a different opponent, and show out. So it doesn't make sense when he tries to defend Teofimo by saying there's no way he's ducking him after Devin Haney's last performance. And on top of that, if there's nothing for him to be afraid of, why would you turn down $11 million to fight someone that you're not afraid of? To fight someone that you know is easy to beat after looking at their last performance? That doesn't make any sense because, like I said, Teo is not going to make $11 million in his next fight. I guarantee you that. He ain't going to make nowhere close to $11 million in his next fight if he's not fighting against Devin Haney or Jaron Ennis or moving up to 154 and fighting somebody up there. He's not going to make no $11 million fighting against any of the champions at 140. I can tell you that right now. Now, there's one more thing I want to say about Tim Bradley. I find it so interesting because if you guys notice, I think all of us notice, Tim Bradley, he always goes out of his way to defend Teofimo Lopez no matter what situation he's in. From the racist stuff that he says to him turning down $11 million to fight Devin Haney, Tim, he always has Teo's back. And I want to tell you guys where this all started, which is what makes it even crazier. You guys remember when Teo said they can keep the black fighters at ESPN, right? Well, in that same interview, he started to diss Andre Ward and Tim Bradley. In fact, he had dissed them first before he started talking about they can keep the black fighters. Teofimo, he was mad because Tim Bradley, he said during the fight when he was calling the fight, I believe Teo was fighting against Sandor Martin, where Teo got knocked down. And then Tim Bradley yelled out, he hurt. So, Teo, he didn't like that at all. So he ended up dissing Tim Bradley. And he dissed Andre Ward just for pointing out the fact that he got knocked down, trying to accuse them of being biased, being against Latinos. So the craziest thing is, ever since Teo said this about Tim Bradley has been the most loyal person to Teo in the world to this day.
But yo, check this out. This could be a power play. Here's why. Look, Teofimo Lopez, right? He wanted to fight Boots. Why did he want to fight Boots? Because there was more money on the table. That's why. One, maybe he thought he can beat him. Maybe not. I don't know. I thought he had a good chance. However, Boots didn't take the bait. Boots didn't want the fight. Boots going to 54, that's my opinion. Or Boots might even want Norman Jr. I think this came out of his mouth. He wants Norman Jr. After Norman Jr. go to Japan and knock that guy out. Because Norman better knock that guy out. That's easy work. He easy to get hit. But anyways, back to my point. So he was going to get paid more money. He was going to get a shot at the ring belt. He was, willing to go up to 47 for that. Absolutely. But it was definitely for more money. I heard it was astronomical money. So then Turkey says, nah, I want you to face Haney. That's who I want you to pay. But I'm going to pay you less money. I'm going to pay you 11, 9, whatever it is. I don't know. I heard him reported. I heard it was reported about 11 million for Haney. Nah, that's not enough for Teofimo Lopez. But this is probably his reasoning why. I'm just thinking about this. What Teofimo Lopez has done in this game, right? Short period of time. Called his shot, beat Lomachenko. Called his shot, beat Taylor. I keep going back to that. Yes. He feels he's done a lot in the sport, right? Then you take a look at Ryan Garcia. Social media darling. Millions of subscribers. My God. Millions of subs. Millions of viewership. The guy is hot. He's a hot commodity. Ain't won a world championship at all. But he gets paid $20 million to face, sorry about that blower, to face Rolly Romero. Now, I know that fight was for a championship or whatnot, but he still lost. And I know Ryan Garcia's hand is hurt or whatever excuse they want to make. It is what it is. He couldn't pass on that bag, regardless of winning a fight or not. He couldn't pass on that. But he's getting paid $20 million. That's beside the point. So Teo has done a lot more in the sport, and he feeling like, I deserve more money than that. So he knows that there's more money on the table. He understands that there's more money on the table. And so what he's doing is, I think, he's standing his ground.
Okay, so if Teo is standing his ground, then he should have options. He should have some serious options if he is worth the money he thinks he's worth, right? But we know he's not worth the money because Teo himself would tell you he's not worth the money. Once again, by his own admission, he hasn't made more than $1 million a fight. And he gets offered $11 million? And you're going to tell me that it makes sense for Teo to say, nah, you know what? I need more money than that because I beat Josh Taylor and I beat Lomachenko. I'm a big star. I need way more money than $11 million. Nah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. So what is Teo going to do now? He's going to keep fighting guys for $1 million to $3 million for the rest of his career until somebody knocks him out and then he retires. And then that's going to be his smart power play. And then if he's lucky, he ends up retiring with a net worth of $5 million when he could have retired with a net worth of $30 or even $50 million. Nah, Teo ain't got no damn power play. And you're wrong, Tim. The only reason Teo would turn down $11 million to fight Devin Haney is because he is concerned, because he is worried about losing to Devin Haney. And you guys may recall, long time ago, Teo said, man, I can't lose to that guy. I cannot lose to Devin Haney. He said that long time ago. And keep in mind, he's saying that while refusing to fight him. So it's not like he wanted to fight him and he was saying this for motivation, like, I can't lose to this guy. I can't lose to this guy. You know, like kind of like when Javante said, you know, his biggest fear is losing. You know, he says that in general, no matter who he fights. His biggest fear is losing, being embarrassed, being a meme. See, when Teo said it, he said, I can't lose to that guy, Devin Haney in particular. And that explains why he turned down $11 million to fight Devin Haney. And the irony of Teofimo Lopez saying these black fighters, they're afraid to lose to a Latino. Teo, he is very envious of all of these black fighters. And he's going to be devastated. He's going to really be crushed when he loses to a black fighter. I remember a while back when Teo, he first split up with his wife. Someone very close to the situation, they told me that she ended up leaving him for a black guy. And that wasn't even the worst part. The black guy actually resembled Devin Haney. This is what I was told. And like I said, I was told this by a very, very close source. So I guess I could understand why he wouldn't want to take the chance of losing to Devin Haney. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Decay Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodecay.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.